Hello everyone, here's another Dungeon Dice Monsters update video. This is number 19, which means the next one will be a recap video, which I'm still deciding how I'll do it, but I'm planning to do another fast forward motion one. Hopefully you guys like the first one, hopefully you'll like this next one, which will just basically recap all the progress I've made so far. You might hear my fan running on my computer. I guess it's working hard, I don't know. But anyways, this episode is brought to you by Aragon. The reason why it's brought to you by him is because almost all the new stuff you'll see in this video was brought to you by him. For instance, this is now the title page, and I'm using the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters background. Here, this is what he made, but anyway, he basically modified this background to make it look darker, make it look nicer, and stand out a lot better than it was before. So that was him. If there's any parts in the game that you do not like, for instance, if you don't like the way something looks, then it's best you let me know now and somehow give me something to fix it, because this is getting really close to how the game will permanently look. There's only a couple things I don't like that will be changed because I don't think it looks good. But other than that, the game is getting really close to its final, I guess, basically look of the whole thing. Like, for instance, this background, I'm going to get rid of this dark space. I have kind of an idea of what I'll do with it. Let's get going. So, again, all Aragon. So on my mouse, you might notice that it'll hover, or when my mouse hovers over here, it turns red. That's fine. It's because the buttons used to be on the left side, so it's still checking if the mouse is in that original area, because the screen used to be smaller. So that'll be easily fixed. So only a dice pool is a selectable option, which is a shame because, how do I get to it? I don't remember. It's a shame because I started working on the free duel area where you challenge other opponents, and I didn't quite get very far on it. Anyways, I didn't get a chance to put 100 monsters in like I planned before this video, but I really wanted to make this video because it's Saturday and this is the best time for me to make a video. If I don't, then we're gonna all have to wait a couple more weeks again like we did last time for my next video. Anyway, so I just rushed in and put in a load of monsters, and some of them have no stats. So you might see some of your favorites. I guess I could just skim through them real quick, so that way you can see them real fast. If I'm going too fast, you can always slow down the playback. YouTube has an option, then you just take advantage of that option. I really don't want to make this video too long, but I have a feeling because I talk too much, it's going to be too long. There's a couple monsters I want to give a little bit of attention to. So first off, this guy took me a little while to create, and he works. There's only one thing I want to add to him. That's a downside, but he works just like he does in the cartoon. So if you summon him, it becomes the opponent's monster. However, the upside for you is, and I think he only shows if you if the opponent has enough monsters, but it kills 2 monsters, destroys. Down here I just noticed it says it destroys 2 random crests each turn. That's not going to happen because that's too much, especially if you're summoning monsters often. You're going to run out of crests really quickly. So instead, he's going to have a different downside. But really cool monster, hard to get to work, but it finally does work. And also, Toon monsters will no longer appear if you do not have Toon World on the field. So if you summon a successful summoning, see this guy's level 1, and you don't have Toon World on the field, you'll not be able to select him at all. He just won't show up. So that's a good thing to put in, just in case people accidentally select him and he automatically disappears because of the way the game is built. It's another monster. I really want to get Relinquish working soon. He doesn't work right now. I don't remember. Oh, I put an effect for him. I don't think he works yet. Whatever. Let's just move on. If there's anyone I want to talk about later. The pool is now down here. This is where it'll officially be. It'll be at the bottom now. Its size will increase depending on how many monsters you allow inside your crest pool. So here's this. Now, I forgot to mention, beta testing is going to start really soon. The game is almost at its beta testing phase. Oh, I forgot to get rid of all these numbers. Oh, well, you guys got to deal with that for right now. Anyways, I said that the game will be at least released after the 20th video is created. It might be more than that. I'd say probably 25 re-release into public. But I was right with one prediction that the game would be beta tested by at least the 20th video. So for beta testing, if you want to become a beta tester, I've already written what it requires to become a beta tester for this game. You have to contribute somehow. And so I only really have, I think, 5 people who contribute. Aragon, okay, so here's the cool thing about Aragon. I'm gonna definitely this video is definitely brought to you a lot by him. See, he put in these dice and end turn images, which is great. I like it a lot. I don't know if I've shown this before, but I put placeholders everywhere now, so like this will show that the die is like either in use or is no longer selectable because you used it to summon. I might use a different image for that. Anyway, so for contributing, it's not just one thing. If you want to be a contributor, considered a contributor, you have to actually like constantly submit things, and they have to be something that maybe I want. Because what I'm noticing, and I sent this complaint in one email to someone. I'm sorry if I was ranting, but some people, they give me stuff, but they're nothing I need. I've been getting that really often actually, where like, oh, you should put this in the game. And I'm like, well, I don't know what you want me to use this for because I don't need it. Or they'll give me an image for something that already exists and I'm already using something for it. And they give me no explanation as to what it's supposed to be used for. But now with Aragon, honestly, like for like the last few weeks, I've been asking for stuff from him, and like right away he just gives me something, like literally like 5 minutes after I ask him, which is great. And I know not everyone has that amount of time, or that, you know, can't really give me stuff all the time. Because I've been working on this game during some of my classes, because some of my classes are just ridiculous. Anyway, oh yeah, he works. Muka Muka. I like that guy. It doesn't really matter what I put down. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I know I had some problems with Shadow Ghoul and whatnot. Anyway, games. Oh, I got rid of the moving background. I got rid of this black area. I didn't really like it that much. If you guys want the moving background, which for me is just, it started getting a little distracting, I could put it back in. It's not a big deal. I just got rid of it just for right now. But yeah, if like a lot of people are like, why'd you get rid of the moving background? I'll definitely put it back in. It's not a big deal. Gray. Okay, so another thing Aragon had given me right away too. Gray basically means that you can't select that. So I'm clicking right now. I don't know if you can hear that, but nothing happens because you can only select stars. Now, I've been playing this with friends now at school, actually. When I go to school, I for some of my classes, which are just ridiculous classes, the professor doesn't know what he's doing, I'll just set my laptop right on my desk and we'll just play this game. He likes it a lot. He understood it. He caught on right away. There's a couple parts that were confusing because there's no instructions anywhere. But, oh yeah, there's that glitch. I don't know what's causing that. That's strange. But anyways, let's go. I actually summoned Exodia against him, which was really nice. So I haven't beaten the actual duel summoning Exodia. And I wish I took a picture because we made some really interesting paths. It was really nice. It was like art. Anyways, yeah, I've been playing with people at school and they like it, and it's making sense to them. It just takes a little bit of instruction. So that's why I asked for that gray die. It shows. Hopefully, it gives you the idea that yeah, you can't choose this to create a summoning. Each time you have a summoning, you have to give up a die, and basically that's the size at the bottom. That's what's on the faces of the dice. So, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, we both had like an Exodia dice pool basically because we both were like racing to summon Exodia. But he had some terrible luck for some reason when he was playing me. He couldn't even summon a level 1 for a long time. So I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the probability of the dice have definitely improved, because the probability before was quite awful. Anyway, I guess I could stop fooling around right now. Let's see if I can get... the super summoning is a pretty cool thing. I need to add in rules where you can take off the super summoning. Also, I wanted to do it before this video, but I didn't get a chance. Everyone, or not everyone, but quite a few people want me to create the long path, which is basically 3 going down, and then 1 over, and then 3 going down again, or up, or however you choose. That will be, you'll be able to enable that in the rules. I just don't like that path because it just reaches too far. And it seems a little unfair. And I don't think you can actually create a die looking like that. Yeah, if you were actually to cut that out, I don't think it's possible to create an actual die with that shape. It's just too long. So, I mean, if you could show me in a video that is possible, and I don't know what I'm talking about, then yeah, please do. But I think it's impossible to do that because all these you can cut out. You can actually cut out the shape and create a actual 3D die out of it. But the other one, it's not in the actual board game, and I don't know what they were thinking when they created it. I guess they just wanted the game to end quickly because that game is just badly. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's go on to some extra stuff here. I want to show you guys what I have been doing. Okay, so here is a list of all all the monsters that you guys have submitted with the surveys, which I bring them up each video. It is very important that you guys fill out the surveys because I listen to those. I forget about the comments because I respond to comments like just about anywhere. I can respond to them at school, and I don't have the option or the ability at the time to make a copy of the comment that you leave because I forget about the comments. So, you know, what you comment, what monsters you put into your comments. I don't have the option to copy them and put them onto a list. But here's a list of monsters you guys have requested. There's still quite a few I need to put in. You guys gave me a lot, so that's really great. I'm really happy about that. And here's the ones that I fulfilled. Now there's probably a couple up here that I have fulfilled. I just haven't copied and pasted them down there, or cut and paste. But here's a request that I have not fulfilled yet, so I will go through them. I'm gonna, Force Raider, I have put them into the game. Let's go take them out. I want you guys to just look at this list real quick. I'm going to go down it really slowly. And if yours is not on that list, then just fill out another survey. I'll put in the links in the description. I've been pretty bad about that because it takes a little bit of time for me to look at the old links and paste them. But I will, and you guys can fill them out. There's 2 surveys going around. There's one that just asks about the game in general, how you feel about the game. You know, what do you think should be changed? Here's monsters that have been fulfilled. These are just requests. These aren't all the monsters, but just a request that I fulfilled. Anyways, so there's 2 surveys. One survey is basically how you think the game is doing and what you want changed, what you want to see, how you think how I should set up the updates. You can fill out that survey, but I highly recommend that you fill out the challenging survey or the live duel survey. That's basically where you could put in the monsters that you want me to control and you want my opponent to control when I create a live duel, which will be a live feed on YouTube, or maybe, what is it called, Twitch, whichever is, I guess, the more preferred one. I think on average I'm getting 100 views per video, so that's not bad. If I can get 100 people to show up to this live event, that'd be great. Slowly, the word of this game is spreading very slowly, and that's good for me. But I'd want this event to be kind of a big event. And I said, like, that day when I do the live challenge, that will be the same day that the game will finally be released to the public. Once the duel is done, the link will go up. So, yeah, and the link will go up as soon as the duel is done. So, hopefully people who are very, like, anxious about this game will watch the whole thing through until it ends. That way they know once the duel is done, then, yep, now you can go and get your game. Get your download. So, here's just, I don't know if it's all in perfect English, but here's just stuff I need to work on. You can go look at that if you want. I'm going to minimize it. I just mainly want to, let's go back here real quick. As you can see, I put in this little cursor thing. It's going to have a better, does it work properly? Yeah, it does. Okay, good. I fixed everything. It's going to have a better purpose later where if you select a monster, it'll stay selected. Right now, there's just a, kind of a wireframe background that goes around the monster, but I don't really like that. Basically, the cursor is going to stay there, not the finger cursor, but the little gold cursor will stick on there, letting you know that you have selected that monster. Let's see if I can do this real quick. I don't remember if he has it or not. Yeah, good, he does. Cool. So Shadow Ghoul works and Panther Warrior works. Well, actually, yeah, we've all known about Shadow Ghoul. He's been working for a while. Just sometimes his effect glitched out on me, but he's all fixed up and whatnot. Another thing I need to solve, which I've noticed in some of my previous games, is sometimes the game can go kind of slow if you both are being too conservative with your monsters and too afraid to get too close. So I'm going to create a point system in the dice when you create your dice where it allows you to have multipliers, which I was totally against before, but I think multipliers is actually good. So each die will have a certain point value. And I forgot how I was going to do the point value. But anyways, so like a multiplier would basically require more points from that die. So let's say you have 10 points. So like say a star is just 1 point, I guess. So if you have like nothing but stars, then you can put in a bunch of multipliers on that die, which would make it a fair and even die, because I don't want, one die have all times 4 multipliers on each side, because that's just not fair. And I mean, unless you have to summon it or use it as a summoning, but okay, cool. Oh, do I have a magic crest? I do. Okay, so he can't attack unless you use a magic quest or a quest. Let's move him over and attack. And you can attack. Come on, there we go. You can attack multiple times. Oh, I thought I fixed this. I guess I didn't. Oh well. Anyway, these basically. Wait a minute. Oh, I see what's going on. Alright, so anyway, this is the defend box right now. It's a prototype box, but he's defending, so you can either choose yes or no. Let's choose no. Well, normally no would work, but I think I forgot to move the parameter. I mean, the field, so that doesn't work. So now I know. Okay, anyway, so how many magic crests do I have? I have one extra one, but I don't have any attacking crests, so I can't use this ability. Oh well. Anyway, I think that does it for this video. I'll just talk about it one last time before I end the video. So beta testing, it's going to start soon, but it's very limited to who I'll give, or how many I'll give the game to. And the other thing is, it'll have a lot of kind of limits to it. I mean, clearly the game it's got a lot of work to be done. But, for one, I have to trust you in some way. I have to trust that you're not going to just make a copy of the beta and just give it out to people. So what the beta is going to have is it's going to have a time limit on it that will work in a way where it can only be opened up for so long. And also, it'll be able to track if it's on the same computer or not. So if you were to make a copy of it in other places, it would just not work at all. In fact, it'll probably just give you a screen. I plan to put in that little screen where a bunch of bunnies show up when Kaiba tries to hack Pegasus's computer. So that's probably what you'll get if you're going to try and, go against me. Also, it should send me a message through my email. Let me know that you're being unhonest with me and unfair with your version of the beta. So if you end up trying to do something tricky, that's, against the terms that you're going to agree to and be bound by, then you're not going to be able to use the beta anymore because they can't trust you anymore, which will be a shame for you. So yeah, honesty is a big thing for me when it comes to almost anything. So if you're gonna, use something that I spent a lot of time building, because man, programming takes a long time. I don't know if any of you have tried programming something as big as this, but I mean, once the code gets so complex, trying to put something in, it can be sometimes a little tricky and takes a lot of thinking. So the best thing I ask from everyone is just that you are respectful. So the first person who will get the beta like right away, probably sometime during this week, is Aragon, of course. If you're watching this, yeah, we've already talked about this before, but he will definitely have a beta, and the reason why is because he'll be able to then edit all the resources. He'll be the only one who will actually see all the resources. Everyone else will not be able to because it'll all be compiled into a single executable file, which is the way it should be. And so, anyway, if you want to put in your own monsters, you could do the technique that I've spoken about in a previous video, where you basically have a folder called monsters, and you just put in your preferred monsters inside that folder, and it should replace whatever images I use. So if you want a different image for Panther Warrior, then yeah. Oh, one last thing I guess I'll talk about. I don't know how long this video is. It's probably half an hour long, which is not cool. Actually, no, it's less than 20 minutes long. Okay, so I got 2 minutes to talk. The names of many of the monsters that you know and love may change to the Japanese names, which I more prefer. So Dark Magician, though, I'm used to saying Dark Magician, might become Black Magician because that's his actual name. Another one is, I don't know if anyone knows who this is, but Zombire. His name's Zombra or something like Zombira. I forget exactly what they call him in the American version, which sounds like a girl monster or something like that. Its name will just be Zombire, based off the Yu-Gi-Oh comic. And for some reason, the American version is called Zombria. I think that's his name, the Dark. But his real name is actually Zombire the Dark Hero. So that's his name in this game. It's not going to be the actual card's name. Oh, another thing I need to work on is I need to change all of the... Not all of them. Okay, so you see his attack is going up. So he gains 3 attack points for each monster that you control. And I chose not to raise his defense points, but maybe I could do that. Maybe just a little bit. But he is level 1, so he does need to be relatively weak. But I need to change the stats of many of the monsters because the game it's built much differently than it is in the Game Boy Advance version. Where the Game Boy Advance version, everything is in I guess durations of 5, and I didn't really like that. I wanted there to be more of. I want each monster to somehow be somewhat unique. So it's just doing 5s and 10s and whatnot. It doesn't make the monsters very unique. They end up, in fact, the monster doesn't even matter. You just basically just look at the stats and just like, okay, well, he can kill everyone in one hit, while his defense, like, basically you can determine how long a person can live, because all you gotta do is just divide the numbers by 5. So really, their numbers aren't as big as you would say. So a monster with 40 attack, his attack really in reality is 8. And so there's not there's not a lot of room for creativity, because the reason why I say 8 is because you divide by 5, and basically you're just attacking with someone with an attack of 8. If someone has a defense of 10, they basically just have a defense of 2. So instead of making the numbers so giant for absolutely no reason, you can make them small numbers and realize how small the gap is between all the monsters. There's not a lot of like difference between them. I'm not sure if that makes any sense right now, because I don't know if I'm explaining it properly, but that's how I view it. Is basically you can just divide all the numbers in the Game Boy Advance version by 5, and you realize that wow, there's not a big gap in difference between these monsters. That even though the numbers are getting bigger, it doesn't mean anything. You basically lose that huge number. It ends up looking really small. So that's why the monsters, if you look, see they're 16, 20, and 5. This guy is 23, 20, and 18. So you can't right away determine how quickly you're going to be able to kill a monster. So it requires more thought to the game, and that's what I didn't want the Game Boy Advance game, Game Boy Advance game. It feels so brainless to me when you play it. There's not a lot of thoughts involved, or critical thinking, or big decision making. You just basically just want to rush over to the monster lord, find the most strongest, lowest level monster you can find, which one of them I think is Rapid Horseman, because you can multiply his attack by so much. Rush to the monster lord, attack him 3 times, you're done. And in this game, you really have to be very particular about where you put your monsters and how you conduct your moves, especially with the lack of crest that you have. So this version is definitely a more superior, in my opinion, more superior version than the one that you find on the Game Boy Advance. Anyway, that's just me just talking too much. So I'm going to end my video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Put in some comments. I really love comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about this video and the time and all that stuff, and what I said and whatnot. And spread the word if you guys prefer it. See you guys later. Take care.